First and foremost, thank you so much for being here with us. And I know we got a bunch of eyes watching. Good news is the cameras can't see that, but we really appreciate you taking the opportunity to sit down with us and talk about your home selling experience, and also you bought a home. So to start off, take us from the beginning. What had you and your family motivated to sell in the first place?
The home that we were purchasing became available right across the street. Much bigger home, and we just decided that we would do it. It's funny, I told the neighbors 2 weeks prior to that, if I had a ship come in, I would buy this home. And then all of a sudden I went over and looked and made an offer, and the family accepted the offer, and we just went running from there.
And so now that you're moved in and closed, what do you love most about that home? I know the backyard's pretty special. What do you love most about it?
The screened-in back porch that faces the 120-acre farm on the back side of the property.
Yeah, just a little bit of acreage, 120 acres back there.
The people who own that property live in our neighborhood 2 doors down, and they said it will never be developed.
That's awesome.
So it will always remain a farm.
That's awesome. Well, we're glad we could help you accomplish your goals. Was this your first time selling for sale by owner, or have you done it before?
It was my first time.
First timer. That's awesome. So walk us through what prompted you to go for sale by owner, and tell us a little bit about, getting prepped to go to the market. What was that like?
Well, as you well know, we live in a 55 plus community. It's one of the highly sought in Lebanon communities. Most of the homes in there sell by word of mouth. They don't even go on the market. So I felt like, well, putting a home for sale by owner would probably work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, the market took a plunge a little bit, and there were just many factors that I decided it was time to get some help. Sure.
And what were you ideally hoping to accomplish by not hiring an agent?
Saving a little money.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So, we do this every single day. For you, once that home hit the market, what happened? Who called you? What were the types of inbound inquiries that you were receiving?
It was mostly realtors calling, wanting to list my home.
Okay. Okay. And when those realtors calls, I'm sure the phone was probably ringing off the hook. How many calls do you think you got from realtors, and what'd that look like?
I would probably say 5 to 6 a day.
Okay. And so how did you handle those calls?
Well, I thanked them for calling and told them I was going to try this on my own until you called. And something just said, you need to listen to this guy.
Okay. Do you remember what it was specifically that I said, or was it a feeling that you had, or did you feel sales pressure? Was it an easy conversation?
No, it was the first sentence you opened with. You can hang up on me if you want, or I've got something that I'd like to talk to you about.
I'm glad you remember that. That's awesome. Okay, so we had a conversation. You decided to invite us over. Mario and I met with you.
Yes.
And, we met in person. Your wife was there. And we kind of laid out everything on the first visit. What to expect, how we were going to market your home, our compensation, the whole, A to Z. What was it that caused you to hire us on the first visit?
It's like I told Mary Lynn, you came in a guns a-blazing, and you just swept us right off our feet. And I knew then that it was time to make that choice.
Okay. And I appreciate that. Many for sale by owners obviously want to save a little bit of money, which if it was my home, I would want to net the most amount of money as well. While we were there on that initial visit, what was it that allowed you to justify in your mind where you could see the value and the compensation to work with an agent versus doing it yourself? Was there any information we gave you, or what did that look like for you?
It was a lot of the information that you gave me, but most of all was the pressure of not having to worry about it. That you were going to take care of it, and I didn't have to do it. because I was already, after 2 weeks of being on the market for sale by owner, I'd already had all I can take.
Yeah.
And I was ready to let someone take care of it.
What was most frustrating for you besides the agents calling? When you and I had spoke, you were pretty frustrated with the process. What was frustrating you?
It was just the calls day and night, and no one doing anything, just calling.
Mm-hmm.
And then the agents, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So once we hit the market working with Move Up Home Group, what was your impression of how we marketed the home, how we communicated to you throughout the process? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience once we took over?
Well, your timelines were perfect. You came in, your people showed up when they said they were. Everything worked out great. The product of what you presented us with after the photo shoots, and everything just went great.
Okay, awesome. What was the biggest weight for you taken off your shoulders once we took over?
Knowing that it was going to be done right, and I didn't have to worry about any of the legal issues to it.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, for us, we love feedback. Is there anything you feel like we could have done better or differently for you to make it an even better experience?
No, I don't think you could have made it a better experience for me. I do feel like that it might have been a bit of a learning experience for you, being your first 55s plus.
Sure.
Because in a 55s plus, you're knocking out 60% of your buyer pool.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can buy in a 55s plus.
Yeah.
And so, and I felt like you and your group revamped and restarted targeting.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, we had to re-strategize a couple times. I mean, it's easy to say this was going to go perfect, right? And not every home's the same. But in the rare circumstance where a home doesn't sell, I feel like you and I had a lot of open line of communication of, hey, let's do this. Let's reposition the home. Let's re-strategize from marketing. So we appreciate you being flexible with us as well. There's a few things that you don't know, but there's quite a few people in this room that were in that group text, and they're behind the scenes working social media and getting more eyes on your property. How do you feel like our communication was as a team in general? Of course, I was your point of contact, and you and I really did most of the communicating and negotiating, but how do you feel like our communication was as a team?
Oh, I feel it was great. It seemed like any step we went through or any new process we went through, I was always being communicated about it.
Yep. And we had 2 offers on the house. The first one had a home to sell. Mm-hmm. I think you did a great job of positioning your home to stay active on the market. I think we had talked about keeping it active, accepting the offer after we negotiated some of the price and some more favorable terms, but ultimately keeping your home on the market because their home was not under contract.
Right.
Right. And I think that's an important thing that you and I, if we hadn't have done that, this second offer wouldn't have known about your home.
That's correct.
And this was a very solid cash offer, quick closing, pretty simple terms. Mm-hmm. And so I think we did a good job. I remember one night, I think it was 9 o'clock at night, you took my call. But we talked for about an hour, just negotiating through, hey, what's more important here, the money or the move?
Right.
Because we started talking about title expenses and, what happens once we go under contract. And, hey, this is a buyer that doesn't have a home to sell. And all I could think about in that process for you, Josh, was seeing you and your wife on that back porch with that view. Mm-hmm. And so what was it for you? How did you work yourself through the discomfort of kind of what you had an expectation of what you thought your home was going to sell for versus, just the difference in what it did? How did you work yourself through that? And was it worth it for the view?
Well, I will just have to tell you, my wife and I are firm believers that God's in control of everything. And we knew that he would take care of it all the way around. If it was meant to be, it was going to happen. and working with the other family on the other home, and them working back with us,
Yep.
and you giving me working through me on the process on the selling part, it just all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. We, you sold and bought. And originally the buy side was a pre-negotiated process, which you did a great job of that. You got to get your real estate license after this. But you did a good job of pre-negotiating that. And as our process unfolded on the list side, you and I had even communicated about the buy side, and you ended up negotiating some really phenomenal terms. So I'm glad you bought the right house at the right price.
Right.
How do you feel, in those conversations, those late night talks, and we were working through different terms of each contract? How do you feel like we did as far as negotiating on your behalf, especially around price?
I feel you did a wonderful job. And there at the end, when things really started getting a little more hectic, you just took over. And then you said, before you say anything, this is what I've been able to do. And that's what I needed.
Yeah.
It's what I needed.
Yeah.
Because, my tendency is to go into drama mode first and then start thinking. And you just stepped right in and you read me well. And you said, before you say anything, let me tell you what I've gotten done so far. And then you tell me if you agree to it or not. And
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, I think for us, Josh, like, we don't have a home to sell, right? It's not our home to sell. It's ultimately your decision. So we always want people to feel comfortable and confident that the direction we're providing, it's from a place of love and it's from a place of care, but ultimately it's your decision. Did you ever feel like I was pressuring you or kind of saying, hey, you need to take this or else? Or did you feel like I was like, hey, this is what I've pre-negotiated. Here's your options. Which would you like to explore?
Yeah, I never felt pressured.
Good.
At all. I always felt like you were looking after my best interest
Awesome.
in that. And
Yeah, I feel like we've become friends now.
oh yeah.
I can't wait to see the new house.
Yeah.
So now that you're closed, first of all, what was the first meal you cooked in the new house?
Well, actually, probably last night. We didn't have appliances for 10 days after we moved in. We used the air fryer and the griddle, and just made it through eating out a lot. But we just grilled out last night. Had some company over for the first time.
That's awesome. What'd you cook?
Hamburgers,
Love it.
hot dogs, just normal Memorial Day weekend stuff.
Yeah, good. I love it. So last two questions here, and then we'll wrap up. If another homeowner was watching this right now, and they were either considering hiring an agent other than Move Up Home Group, or considering selling for sale by owner, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to not do sell by owner, go straight to a realtor.
Okay. And when you feel like if you were to make a recommendation for a realtor, why would you recommend us, or what advice would you give to someone that is considering hiring Move Up Home Group?
I would highly recommend Move Up Home Group.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Because it's like I said, you came in guns a-blazing, swept both of us off our feet, and I thought, this is how it's going to happen. And I believe you could do that for anybody.
That's awesome. I remember putting the lockbox on your home, and you came and grabbed me, and you said something to the effect of, I normally don't make decisions on the first visit, but you're good. You're
right.
good.
You're right.
I remember you saying that.
We've been married 46 years, and we never make decisions. We always take a day or two and think about it.
Yeah.
You're probably the first time I've ever done that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that says a lot for you.
I appreciate that. So you got a bunch of eyes staring at you right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to look at them.
If you could share some words of wisdom to the team about, what they're doing in real estate, because it's not easy right now. Real estate is, as you said, just forever changing. if you could give them a piece of advice or some words of wisdom, what, if at all, what piece of advice would you give them?
It would be more that every day brings a new dawn, and there will be more things happening as the days go on. Do not let today's downfalls bring you down, but let today's praises bring you up. And just remember, tomorrow's another day and another chance. And just don't ever give up.
That's awesome. Josh, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. And we got
Thank you.
a gift for you, okay?
Oh, okay.